Hello to all our community members. Welcome to the Bajirao IS Academy. Today is 15th November and we are going to discuss the daily Hindu newspaper analysis. So today we have three articles in discussion. One by one we will be discussing these articles. So the first article is related to India's digital journey. When we talk about India's digitization scenario, what you are seeing is like a digital revolution, and not only digital revolution but a digital innovation as well. And we can give examples about digital innovation like the UPI payment system you can observe, okay, like the Aadhaar based authentication system. You can also observe how prosperous and how easily our lifestyle has been made by these systems, okay. You can just click and the payment will be done. So basically, these are also enabling to minimize the digital gap. And when we talk about digital gap, so the gap can exist between rural India and urban India. But here in this article, we will be discussing that how these digital innovation done by India can be utilized to minimize the digital gap in the global south. And when we talk about global south, what does it represent? It represents the developing and underdeveloped nations, okay. And if these innovations are get adopted there, that means these countries can leapfrog in the digital revolution, and definitely it can have positive impact on the economy, on the society, and reducing the income inequality and another inequalities, okay. So these articles we will be discussing that. And the second article is related to world without work. Although, can you imagine a world without work? Maybe you can imagine, but can it is possible? Chances are very low. But we are moving into that direction. How? With the introduction of artificial intelligence. And when we talk about artificial intelligence, you all know that it is definitely replace the human work, okay. The nature of human work is getting diversified, and the machines are adopting to the work system and they are aiding the humans, okay. So maybe in the future the intelligence of the machines can become such huge that they can enter into different dimensions of the work. Definitely it can reduce the role of humans, okay. And why I am discussing these contexts, because a recent summit was organized, and in an interview the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and the Elon Musk, they have discussed on the possible implications of the work because of artificial intelligence. So we will be analyzing all of that, okay. And this is also very interesting article. And the third article is related to India's unclear position on Gaza. When we talk about the Israel Hamas war, it has started on October 7, and again, due to the retaliation of the Israel, we are seeing the devastations in the Gaza and the loss of civilian lives, okay, and humanitarian crisis. So this matter went to the United Nations General Assembly, okay. And earlier in this assembly, India abstained from voting regarding the ceasefire between Israel and the Gaza, okay. But now, when again voting started on different topic which was related to the protection of civilians in the Gaza, okay. So here India voted in favor of this resolution, okay. We will be elaborating that. But what I want to highlight, that you can observe that there is no clear position of India with respect to the scenario that is going here, okay. So what this article suggests, India needs to have a clear position what it aims for, and should also communicate its position. So we will be elaborating on all of that. Now we are starting with the discussion, but before that we have a warm up session, and we on the daily basis discuss the prelims question. So the prelims question is related to polity section, and the question is, with reference to the Constitution of India, consider the following statements. Statement 1. No High Court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. Recall the statement carefully. The second statement, an amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. And here it is asking about the correct statement, whether option 1 is correct, whether option 2 is correct, whether both options are correct, and D, neither options are correct. So you have to choose the correct option. Okay, and we will be providing you the solution of this question in the last session of the discussion. But before that, you must attempt the question, and the question you can answer in the chat box. Okay, the option you can write in the chat box. It will be very interactive session. Okay, and remember, when we talk about the constitution and its amendability, tell me also how the constitution can be amended, whether via special majority or the simple majority. And remember here, this can depend on the case. Okay, and give me some of the examples where the constitution can be amended via special majority, and certain exceptions where the amendment can be done but without a special majority. Give me some of the examples, because these type of questions definitely asked by the UPSC in the examination. So now we are expanding our discussion, and let's start. The first article is related to GS paper 3. Okay, so basically this article has been written by a Norwegian minister. So that's why we will be understanding their perspective. First of all, this article like congratulates India's position, India's stand on the digital journey, because India has achieved a remarkable digital journey. Okay, and when we talk about India's digital revolution, you can understand that what we have innovated in terms of digital innovation, whether it is UPI, whether it is the Aadhaar based authentication system, okay, whether it is the Diksha platform for educational accessibility, and all of that, there is a big changes in the Indian society. And now due to that, the accessibility of these products is wider in nature, because any digital transformation ensures that accessibility and affordability should be the core pillar. Okay, and this also helps in achieving our sustainable development goals. And when we talk about sustainable development goals, it aims to fulfill 17 goals, okay, by 2020, by 2030, and it includes like zero hunger, okay, no poverty, along with sustainable cities and all of that. And you should remember the goals. Why? Because you can write in the main answer writing for the conclusion, and also you can start with the introduction as well. Okay, and that is an important pillar in this SDG goal, that no one should be behind. And how we can ensure that no one should be behind? By integrating the digital revolution in every sector, whether it is the economy, whether it is the society, whether it is the polity, and all of that. Okay, so that the gap, the inequality gap, should be reduced in a short span of time. Okay, remember that in terms of digital education, we have accessibility to the wider states and area, but when we compare with the physical education, okay, so their reachability is limited. Okay, the infrastructure is limited. But for the digital revolution to proceed, what it is needed? The connectivity, the internet. Okay, so if you have the penetration of internet, the digital revolution will do wonders. Okay, and we are seeing in terms of India and in terms of India's journey in the digital revolution, so we will be understanding in great detail. And one of the India's most powerful tool in this journey has been digital public infrastructure. Now remember, UPSC did ask about digital public infrastructure and digital public goods. So we will be understanding it in detail. So when we talk about digital public infrastructure, first of all, breakdown. Digital means it is related to the connectivity, it is related to the internet. Okay. And when we talk about public, so public means government. So these digital services are provided by government, and mainly these are free of cost. And why free of cost? So that which can be accessible by even the weaker section of the society. So indirectly, it promotes equitable and inclusive digital world. Okay, and it doesn't mean that only government provides it, but there can be NGO, there can be open source organization that can provide these facility. Okay, and these can be open source software, open data, open artificial intelligence models. Okay, and they are freely accessible. And when we talk about the benefits of these digital public infrastructure, it ensures larger accessibility and also affordability. Remember the digital education which you are involved with. Okay, they have reduced cost, but accessibility is very much larger. Okay, it can have an impact on all of the state and UT of India. Okay, so that means, and along with interoperability and collaboration, innovation and adaptation, sustainability and a long-term viability. And some of the examples of digital public goods in India are like COVID portal. You can register here for the vaccination programs along with the Diksha program, Diksha platform, which gives you the open access to various education chapters, videos. Okay, and you can access it, you can learn it along with the facility of e-sign, Aadhaar, okay, IMPS, UPI. All these are digital public goods. Okay, and this ensures the inclusivity and reduces the digital gap. Okay, digital divide. So you need to understand in that perspective. And when we talk about India's role in accelerating the digital public goods, so India is promoting not only within India but outside India in the global south that the role of digital public goods should be expanded so that the welfare of these underdeveloped and developing nations should be done. And for that, India played a major role in advancing the global digital public goods agenda during the G20 presidency in 2023. And here, India secured an agreement from all the G20 nations on the G20 framework for system of digital public infrastructure. And this framework provides a common understanding of digital public infrastructure and their benefits and what will be the key principles. So, what India has developed in terms of digital public goods that can be access, that can be provided, the technology can be provided to these nations as well, so that these nations get also advanced in terms of the digital digital revolution. Okay, and it will ensure digital south-south cooperation. And because when we talk about the global south, it represents the underdeveloped nation. There are huge challenge in terms of developmental gap, in terms of inequality, and with the introduction of these digital public goods and technology, these challenges can be reduced because we have talked to you the benefit of digital public goods, okay, in the previous slide. And that's why it can help these country to leapfrog these challenges. And that's why India is a leading force in promoting digital south-south cooperation. You can remember this image, digital south-south cooperation. And that's why one of the recent example we can say that India's open source ID platform MOSIP has been adopted by over 97 million people in countries around the world. Okay, and the Digital Public Goods Alliance is a global initiative like promoted by Norway that India is also actively involved in. So what does it represent? That India want to share these type of technology to the global world so that the benefit can be shared and they should be inclusive in nature. Okay, and when we talk about a Norwegian perspective, so Norway is also promoting the digital technology. They welcome the digital technology, and that's why they promotes DPGA. And when we talk about DPGA, it means Digital Public Good Alliance. And the alliance was started by Norway itself, and also Norway in its 50 in 5 campaign pledged to make at least one national digital good available globally in the next 5 years. Okay. And when we talk about the digital public good, remember that it is not based on competition. That means it aims for the welfare, and that's why it will be helping the reduction in developmental gaps and the digital divide. Okay. And not only India, but Norway is also ensuring that digital public goods should be shared at the global level. Like, for example, YR, which is a weather forecasting service of Norway, and these are used around the world. Along with other examples, VIPS, a warning system that ensures the plant health. So it can also address the food insecurity challenge. Okay. So that's why these digital public goods helps in various fields. Okay. And when we talk about another example, DHIS2, a health management information system platform used in 73 countries. So Norway is also ensuring that their digital public good innovation should be shared with various countries so that these various countries get also benefited. Okay. And when we talk about food insecurity, so in the coming times there can be a challenge of food insecurity because of climate change, because of rising population, okay, because of degradation of land and agriculture. Okay. So how these digital public infrastructure can help? So first of all, we can take the example of Norway here. Okay. Like Norway developed a tool that is called as VIPS tool, and this tool helps in monitoring the plant health. So if there is any issue regarding the plant health, the tool will help to send information about this issue, and proper action and timely action can be taken. Okay. And along with that, 24 registered digital public goods are there that target to achieve SDG goal 2, that talks about ending food hunger. Okay, that means zero hunger. So these digital public infrastructure, the digital public goods are helping in addressing food insecurity as well, challenges to the food insecurity as well. So these are the perspectives we have discussed in this article. And again, there are some issue that needs to be addressed, okay, for promotion of DPI and the digital public goods. Like for these type of goods or the services, financing is needed. And who does financing here? The government. Okay, because these are free to use services, and despite these are free, but finances are needed for innovation, okay, and for research. So financing is needed and it should be mobilized. And also, with the rise in the digital infrastructure, security concerns is also rising regarding the data management and all of that. So government and businesses needs to address the privacy concern as well. And along with that, country needs to ensure digital sovereignty so that the data should not be compromised on the open internet. And here, Norway are collaborating with India to understand India's digital public goods, how it works, okay, and this will lead to advancement in the global digital public goods agenda. So together, when we say that India and Norway can help to ensure that the benefit of digital public infrastructure, digital public goods should reach everywhere, every country, okay, and it will benefit the global south as well as the global world. Okay. So that's the end of the article. Hope you understood. And now we are shifting to the second article, and it is related to the artificial intelligence and how it can end the work. Okay. However, this is a probability, this is a possibility, but chances are very low that the work will be totally replaced by artificial intelligence, because any technology, any advancement do engulfs the jobs but also creates the job. So both scenario are applicable. Like when we talk about an example, artificial intelligence, okay, so there is a need of programmers as well. So if there is a end of certain jobs, there will be a rise of the jobs related to the programmers. Okay, so that's the point. Okay, so we will be elaborating this article. So first of all, what is the context here? Recently, the Blood Chili Park Summit was organized on the topic artificial intelligence. For your kind information, I want to say that artificial intelligence is a technology where the machine is given thinking power. Machine can think and machine can do creative work by themselves. Okay, and slowly artificial intelligence is integrating with the work culture, specifically to the developed nation, and later for the developing nations it is also going to come. Okay, because what developed nation innovates, do creativity, they get aspirated to the developing nation as well. So maybe in India, because of the various big companies, okay, they can adopt the artificial intelligence for the automation. Okay, and what this may cause the outthrow of workers. Okay, outthrow of workers. So this is another angle, but here we are not going into that context because it will be leading to diversification of the topic. The main topic and the focus is like the recent summit, and in this summit the UK Prime Minister also participated along with the billionaire Elon Musk also participated. Do you know about Elon Musk? Well, you definitely know the owner of Twitter, the owner of SpaceX. Okay, so these are billionaires, and they highlighted the disruptive potential of artificial intelligence. We talk about the benefits of the artificial intelligence. Okay, we always talks. We have the articles in discussion, but here there is a need to understand that what disruptions, what damage the artificial intelligence can do. And the most important impact will be on the work culture, will be on the workers. Okay, because the automation will rise. Okay, so the workload of the humans may be taken by, may be replaced by the artificial intelligence. Okay, so Elon Musk prediction of a future where artificial intelligence replace all human labor. So do these predictions will be real? No. The article says no, because this will be theoretically correct but practically not correct, because any technology or innovation do engulfs some of the jobs but also creates opportunity as well. Okay, and here one important thing you should understand. And before that, I want to ask you a question, that let's say work is necessary or not. Work is necessary or not. So you will be talking that maybe it can be necessary, maybe it is not necessary. So here there are two perspectives related to the work. Okay, and if work is like provides you self satisfaction, then definitely you will be going to work. But if it is like exploitation, then you will avoid to do work. Okay, and that's why comes here the two perspective of two important personality. One is the Keynesian perspective, John Maynard Keynes, you know, the popular economist, and the another is Marxian perspective. Okay, and before discussing these two perspectives, you need to understand that Keynesian was mostly capitalist. Okay, and when we talk about Marxian, mostly socialist. So their viewpoints will vary. Okay, and the perspective you may have read in the sociology as well. Okay, so the point is, does world without work is desirable? Okay, so first of all, I learned about the Keynesian perspective. So when we talk about Keynesian, that talks about a liberal and capitalist viewpoint. Okay, and in the capitalist viewpoint, there is a talk about open economy, give independence to every individual, don't restrict the potential of any individual. Okay, and based on the potential, people will earn, people will grow, and people will live their lives. Okay, there will be no regulations here. Okay, and here the Keynesian perspective says that work is drudgery. Drudgery means it requires hard work to do work. okay, in simple sense. And that's why if we are able to reduce the work hour, okay, that will increase the welfare of the people, because the excess times will be utilized for the welfare, for creative and innovative things, okay. So that's the point. And hence, when we talk about technology, like artificial intelligence can be utilized to reduce work hours, and ultimately it can lead to the elimination of the need of the work. It is not talking about the need of the work, it is talking about the need of the work, okay. The work will not be eliminated, but the need of the work that is required by the humans, it may get eliminated, because the responsibility will be shifted to the artificial intelligence. So that's the point. Okay, but when we talk about Marxian perspective, so you know well about Karl Marx, okay, that gives about the societal perspective, okay, socialist philosophy, okay, and here the state regulation is a necessity, and there will be the distribution of wealth and income, okay. There will be no capitalist viewpoint, because capitalists in the sense are exploitative in the nature, okay. So when we talk about Karl Marx emphasis on work, so basically, as per the perspective, the work is very much essence of a human existence. You came into this world and you have to do some sort of work. Okay, maybe this perspective can be challenged. Even what the Keynesian perspective can be challenged, but here we are talking about the points given in the article. Okay, so basically, there is a problem in the capitalism. What is the problem in the capitalism? That workers is exploited, okay. More engagement and less salary and more time you need to invest, so there is a chance of exploitation of the worker, okay. Not the owners, but the workers have the chances of exploitation. Hence the workers can never feel self satisfaction in work, okay. And that's why, what should be the solution? Solution is like artificial intelligence should not replace human labor, but the individuals can utilize artificial intelligence. It means not supplementary, but complementary in simple sense, okay. Because there will be a relationship of workers and the employers, okay. So that means there can be the chances of exploitation. So the artificial intelligence can be utilized to complement, okay. So that's the point. And when we talk about the economic implications of artificial intelligence, so for that you need to imagine what you will imagine. Let's imagine that in the coming world there is a complete replacement of artificial intelligence, but still there will be a problem. What will be the problem? Like in capitalism, there will be a person who will give employment to a worker, okay, and there will be the honor, okay. So for the honor, there may be the chances that the need to work will get vanished, okay, because all their work will be done by the artificial intelligence. But for the workers, okay, there is a need to have a work, because it will not be assisted by artificial intelligence. The worker needs to do work, and that's why a world without work does not imply a world without drudgery, because hard work is needed to be done. And who will do the hard work? The workers which are engaged in the workforce, okay, because they need to earn money, they need to survive, and for that money is needed, and for money work is needed, okay. So that means labor has no choice but to seek out work if they are to feed and clothe themselves, okay. And when we talk about a world without work, so you can imagine another perspective. Let's say artificial intelligence is performing all the human work, but also several important questions gets arise here, what determines the amount individual will receive, that is the income, okay. And also what determines the division of the net product between those who own that product and the machines, okay, who those who don't. And what determines the division between future growth versus current consumption. And most important one, currently we are seeing the inequality in world, inequality in the society, inequality in income. So this trend will be going furtherward. And with the introduction of artificial intelligence, with the deep inclusion of artificial intelligence, specifically the richer one will utilize the artificial intelligence. So in the coming time, the inequality will also get rise. Okay, so what we are seeing today, the rise in equality. What we can see in the future, the rise in equality. Okay, so the SDG goal that talks about reduction in inequality. Okay, does it seems to be going to be minimized if artificial intelligence get introduced? Chances are very low. Okay, so that's the point. Hope you understood. Now we are shifting to the last article. Okay, so basically, last article is related to the Israel-Hamas war, and it has started on October 7th. We have already discussed in detail with also various perspective. Okay, what are the chances and how this issue can be resolved. Okay, and what is the India's stand? Remember, when we talk about the India's stand about the Israel and Palestine issue, India always favors two-state solution. Okay, and also India provides humanitarian aid to the Palestinians as well. Okay, so that's the point you need to understand. But when we talk about the current issue, the current ongoing issue, you know that 2 weeks earlier, a resolution was promoted in the United Nations General Assembly. Okay, so here on that resolution, India abstained from voting. And what was that resolution about? It was about putting ceasefire of the ongoing war. Okay, but India abstained from voting. Why India abstained from voting? It was all because this resolution doesn't include any provision that condemned the Hamas attack on October 7. Okay, that's why India said that we will not vote for this resolution. But let's see another scenario. 2 week after, okay, recently, in recent days, basically, India voted in favor of 5 of 6 annual draft resolution at the United Nations General Assembly fourth committee, and this resolution criticized Israel for increasing settlements. As we are seeing that the Israel military is approaching the Gaza and they are sieging the settlements, okay, and leading to the humanitarian crisis, all of that. And here what we are seeing, India's stand. India voted in favor. Okay, so what the earlier stand and what is the current stand, there is a difference. Okay, so these stand does not say a clarity of India's position with respect to this issue. Okay, and only adds confusion over the government's stand on the crisis. And also, if India on the earlier resolution that was basically introduced 2 weeks earlier, India said that there is no condemnation of Hamas attack on October 7. Okay, so here in this current resolution, India nor any other country at this committee deliberation proposed amendments. Okay, so if India was on the belief of that principle, okay, so in this resolution there was no sayings or condemnation of Hamas attack. Okay, so why India voted in favor? That also showcase India's unclear stand. Okay, and that's why India must clear its position, because we are seeing that the issue is going further and further. Okay, and clear stand should be provided by India here as well. And when we talk about another issue about Hamas, so Hamas in US and other Western countries are declared as terrorist organization, but in India Hamas is not declared as terrorist organization. Okay, nor any amendments in the laws has been done to declare Hamas as terrorist organization. So here India is also have a differentiating viewpoints. On the one side, India condemns terrorism, and on the another side, there is no proposal to introduce Hamas as a terrorist organization into the Indian law. Okay, so here government must explain its position on the conflict along with how India can play a role in alleviating the situation. And in the upcoming time, there is a summits like Voice of Global South and G20 Virtual Summit. So here India can present a good opportunity. Okay, and when we talk about the India's stance in the past, so for this region, for the issue of the West Asia, India's voice was remained forceful and balanced on such issue, but we are seeing silence over this issue at present time. So there is a need to have a clear position on this issue, and the article highlights that. Okay, that's the end of the article. Hope you understood. Now we are coming to the prelims question answer. Okay, so, what is the first statement? Read slowly. No High Court shall have the jurisdiction to declare any central law to be constitutionally invalid. That is wrong because under Article 226, the High Court have the power that it can also declare the central law to be constitutionally invalid if it violates the provisions of the Constitution. Okay, and when we talk about the second statement, an amendment to the Constitution of India cannot be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. So tell me one simple logic: if Supreme Court of India will not decide whether a provision will be constitutional or not, so who will be deciding? Okay, so that means the second statement is superiorly wrong. Okay, because the Supreme Court, which is apex court of India, Supreme Court has the responsibility to ensure that Constitution get not violated. Okay, the provisions of the Constitution, the basic principles, the basic structure of the Constitution gets not violated, and for that, Supreme Court can decide. Okay, on the issue whether the constitutional amendment is according to the provisions or not. Okay, so that means the Supreme Court has the power. So here both the statement is wrong and your answer becomes D option. Okay, and let's say if the question says which of the following is incorrect, so you can mark the option C. So sometimes in UPSC examination hall the pressure is such that you are forget to see the marking whether it is correct or incorrect and you may do wrong, so be alert on these type of silly mistake. So friends, thank you for the discussion, hope you understood, and we will be meeting the next session tomorrow. Thank you very much for the discussion.